T-Man 978 Chill Review. Hello everyone, T-Man 978 reviewing Fans Toys FT-11 Spotter. Now, the hardcore Transformer fans out there will know that this is supposed to be Transformers' masterpiece, Reflector. Do I like these action figures? Yes. Are they without flaw? No. Sit back and you'll hear about the good things and the bad things. Here's the packaging. I like Fans Toys packaging. It's minimal, but it's good. Any images you see is always perforated so you can actually feel this right here. The artwork is better than anything I can draw, but I don't like it too much. See that? They actually have product details on the back right here. And if you pause, you should be able to read the bio right there, which is actually interesting. Let's get the stuff out of the way that you're never going to see again in this review. Starting with Fan Toys' favorite, the Energon Cubes. Everybody has to come with Energon Cubes. You get two, you might see these again, but everybody gets their own little hand pistol. And everybody has three exchangeable faces, which I'm going to show because each one of them has on a different face. Of course, you get the instruction booklet, which, just like this character, leaves some things up to mystery. And, well, the last main thing that you'll probably never see again is this camera right here. This represents a miniaturized version of their alt mode. And yes, it has repro labels on it. That's why it actually says Reflector instead of Spotter, and it has Decepticon logos on it. This is capable of coming off. Now, I don't know about this right here, but let's show you what you can do with it. You can imitate that one-time Thundercracker used Reflector. Yay! And since he has fingers that are posable, it can make it even look better, like his finger's almost right over the shutter button right there. So there you go with that. Reflector is this tall next to Thundercracker while I have Thundercracker out here. Here is Reflector next to another three-man Decepticon team right here. And next to an Autobot car. They're about the same height. Spotter or Reflector is a weird combination of characters. It was originally intended in the cartoon that the central dude would be able to multiply himself into three separate parts, with only him having the actual lens or shutter right there in the center of his chest, and the other two not having that. And like basically they're an extension of himself. And when he talks, all three of them talk in unison, but they're able to operate independently, sort of, but they still need each other to transform into their one alt mode or whatnot. But of course, in the original G1 toy, they were actually three different characters named Viewfinder, Spectro, and Spyglass. But in the cartoon, yeah, they were all one guy. I have so much to cover, I almost don't know where to start, but I guess I'll continue with the accessories. Each one of them, like I said, has this optional blade right here. It's a nice, thick little dagger. Let's focus on it. Focus on it. It's nice. It's actually sharp. That hurt just now. Of course, it's painted silver and has a typical masterpiece handle. All three of them have an optional pistol right there. Get it in their hands the same way. They actually have a hole in their hand while I'm looking at that. They also have these two optional guns, which are formed by two of their camera parts. This is part of the lens. That's part of the lens, and this is part of the flash right there. So they're big. I noticed that the arms are they're a little bit too heavy for the arms depending on how you have them posed, but they can hold it. One problem that I had to fix And they go in, basically slide. You don't even have to open the hands. Slide this into there, and it tabs into the forearms to keep it in place. But one problem with this weapon is, you see that white right there? That's not supposed to be there. I had to put a piece of plastic there to keep it into place because they're kind of loose. This peg, I think, should have been longer than it is because it barely goes to the top, and this will just drop out. So your copy might not be like that, but this copy is. And of course, there's this weapon, which is a little bit more involved looking. It's the rest of the lens, basically. It turns into like a big shotgun with a shield and, I guess, a sight, if you want to say that, or whatever. But basically, the handle goes into the bottom of the hand, and it pegs into the side. He has pegs on both sides of his arm, and it's supposed to peg into the sides there. I can typically only get it into one, and the handle does rotate left and right, as you can see right there on that joint. So you do have to wrap the hand around there. And Repro labels Decepticon symbol right there. What else? Two of them get these knife sheaths right here on their legs that pop up. These hide into the flesh, so they can just slide that in there. You can do that with the knives if you want to, but only two of them can hold that on there, and it doesn't clip onto the leg like tight. I mean, well, it stays in there snug with friction, but it can easily just fall off or get knocked off. There's also this part, which is part of the flash. You can store a knife in here, but unfortunately, and I haven't figured this out, saw this on an old review, there's nowhere to store it. I mean, the only place that makes sense is on the central guy. Like, it looks like it's supposed to peg onto here, or it should, but it doesn't, because these pegs are, once again, not long. Getting into the robots, they're basically all three the same, but let's let you see the faces. This is the regular face, and I like the head sculpt right there. I like the purple they used, I like the silver, and I like the red in the eyes. You also have this optional face, which is a wide mouth grin. Maybe this is something that happened in the cartoon with him laughing or whatever. And then you get this face right here with a smirk. And one thing I can say about their bodies, they're made out of a rigid plastic that feels really smooth and feels really heavy. They don't have any die cast in their body that I know of, but they are still very, very heavy, which I can't believe. Like I said, fan toys. After you play with a fan toys toy, it's hard to play with other third-party or even official Masterpiece because they just don't feel like this. This has more weight than Prowl, and Prowl is bigger. But as far as articulation, the head can look up about that much on all of them, about down, really, not really. Shoulders can go out that much. Of course, they can rotate 360. And sometimes I notice that this joint will pop out, so you get somewhat of a butterfly joint, but you're not supposed to. Like, if you put it like this, the arm can even come in further. You have bicep rotation, double jointed elbows, which is nice. Of course, all the fingers open on one hinge, and they rotate. And because of the transformation, they can hinge down a bit. Here's waist rotation. And here's one thing I really hate, these hip skirts. Oh, they feel like they're gonna break because they don't move out of the way that easily when you lift the legs up singly. The leg can kick up that far. It can kick out to the side that much, pretty much all the way. It can go back to here before it's hitting this butt skirt right there. But right here, it seemed like on the same side on all of them, it's really tight, and that really feels like you're gonna break it. This does not feel like Hasbro pliable plastic. Thigh rotation, He does have this due to transformation, but I don't know how much that can help you. He has double jointed knees. His ankle pivot that can go all the way down. The toe can go back. And this weird joint right here that feels like you're gonna break it, it can go all the way back like that. I don't like doing that. But one thing I don't like, he has these nice double jointed knees, but his toes don't go forward, so you can't really get a whole ton of use unless you try to get like clever. You can't get a lot of use out of this double jointed knee unless you try to balance him on his toe, but he's gonna fall over. And all of them, even though the center bot transforms slightly different, have the same articulation. One thing, they have these panels. They get loose out here after you transform them. For the first time, these get permanently loose. They're really loose on some and stiff in other places, so I don't know what's up with that. It's just down there on a pin, so you can't tighten it up yourself unless you know some type of special technique that I don't like. But I like their overall design. They kind of remind me of just G1 on steroids, or like when IDW Comics first took over the first Transformer comics. Like how they look like G1, but they looked a little bit more detailed, sort of like the live action movies, but not quite as extreme as the live action movies. That's what these remind me of, and I really like the way they're designed. It looks very, very nice. One thing to note, this, even though it's textured and looks nice and looks reminiscent of the original toy, that's repro label, so your figure won't have that. Your figure will have an all purple shin, a light purple shin. I wish I could show that off besides in the booklet, but you can look up pictures of this guy and see what the legs are supposed to look like. But other than that, it has these repro labels there, and I believe that's it for the robot mode. And this is a repro label right there too. Transformation preparation. Basically, put this to the side for now. These little sword sheaths or knife sheaths, they can stay in there, and all three little parts that does it. Pop this piece off, that can go to the side. Basically, now we need to slide this forward, which is easier said than done. Yeah, ow, that freaking hurt just now. Slide that forward. This one's already slid forward. Now basically there are tiny little pegs right there. We need to groove this peg into here, and while you're doing that, these little things come out to the side right there. So put this one on. Depending on which one you put on which side, it matches itself up. It equals out basically. So now we need to take this side, and the little handle in there moves. Slide this around there, and now you're done with that. And then basically you take this bottom part and peg this into here, and now you're done. Now this part, these simple enough. Flare them out. Flare it out. Push this in, and how you get this out, you put your fingernail under there and pull it out. Pull that out, pull this forward, wrap it around. And basically, bend this down to here, bend this down to here to get it out the way. Push this handle down, rotate this around this way, and now this is annoying because I can't see any other way to do it without rubbing a little bit. Wrap that around like this, and basically try to get it up under there. It's frustrating, it rubs as you transform, but basically you needed to clip down here, and you need this clipped over top of the top layer of there. Now we need this. And going off these repro labels, which way is the right way? This is on the wrong side. Well, basically, if you didn't have the repro labels, you probably wouldn't have to worry about what I just did. Put that in there, and now it's done. Put this and the flash off to the side. Transforming the main robots, they all basically transform the same. The only thing different is their backpacks and this little piece on the back of the feet of the outside bots. But let's start with the center bot. First thing you want to do, close these feet up. Open this panel, rotate the hand this way, and flip the hands in there. Do that on both sides. Now, and the transformation is kind of scary. It's not hard, but it's scary. Grab this, shove that in there. Rotate the arm that way, and do this right there. Now, you want to start grabbing this backpack, lift that out the way, and the back, this chunk of plastic right here is tabbed into the front of his body over top of his shoulders. Wiggle that out and bring that down, get it out the way. With that down, you can grab this and pull this down to get his head down and out of the way. Now you can lift this all the way up, bend this a little bit, and rotate it this way until you get into that position, basically. Get the arms out of the way. You might as well open this up like this. Rotate this butt panel down. Go ahead and grab these right here, these waist pieces, move them out of the way, and basically get it up underneath of this head on both sides. Come on. The arm out the way. Put it under there. Squeeze this back down, make sure the head's all the way down. Lift these side skirts up. Now move this butt panel out the way, bring that back, and bring this out like that. Move the butt panel out the way, bring the leg back, bring that out to the side. Rotate the butt panel down, and clip it underneath of the crotch like that. Bring this down, and just get it out the way for now, because it's just going to be in the way. Bring the legs back like this. Shut these side panels. Take this, rotate them basically out to the side like that. Lift that up, rotate it out to the side. Bring the arms and peg them into place right here. And now start lifting this up on that part of the thigh that bends for no reason in robot mode. It has a reason now. Lift that up. Kind of tab this into place in the front right here, and shove the legs down. As you're doing that, bend it forward. Try to groove this into place. It's very difficult. They give you tips in the instructions. This is kind of hard to get up there, but basically you have to get it, line it up just right, which is easier said than frickin' done. These panels apparently need to be shut, and now we can move these with these shut. Now that this is flush like that, we need to bring this down over his head. Bring it down and bring this into place right there. Oh Lord. Now the other two robots will be identical, except for some other places that I'm going to show you. And this thing feels like a brick already. One difference, these pieces I had like this in robot mode, they need to be angled down so they can meet like that. So there's one difference right there. The head or backpack, you need to lift this up, and actually this can angle out like that. You don't even need to move that really. But basically you open this up the same exact way, do everything until you need to get to this part at the end. Here's a better way to do these panels right here. Bend it all the way up like this angle, and then it'll go up and you don't have to clear those arms, which is a lot easier, of course, and then slide that down. Crap, I forgot to mention that the head needs to be turned around before you shove it down for these particular two. The other one didn't matter. Once you close everything up right here and latch all this up in the front, you need to pull these little pieces down. Sometimes it's better one at a time, but as long as they go down. And those little feet pieces cover the face. Now this part right here, shove this into place. Like you might have to hinge that under there a little bit. Bring this down, same thing, hinge that under there. Now this part is freaking difficult as hell. In instructions they show you need to pull these out to the side, and basically this needs to somehow, without popping it off, rotate on this bar down to this position right there. Or maybe I should do that before I put this up. But I have not been able to slide this up. I'm gonna have to watch a review and see somebody do that, because it is impossible. They did not put enough clearance. Well, basically, essentially, you need that like that, and you need to put this back on. And I typically wedge something under there, and this will peg into place. Now you bring this back down and under there, and it's ready. It's waiting for you to do the other guy. I don't drink, but this transformation, whew, like I said, it's simple, but it's just a little bit fiddly. Oh boy, it makes me want to start drinking. But basically, we need to peg these into these and this into this, and you need to get this up into here, right there. So line everything up. Maybe line the bodies up first, and then bring this on top. Like, everything seems like it should be simple, but good lord, it fights you. Bring this side over, and now we need this to match up with this while you're matching this. So, oh boy. So maybe we should attach that top first. Repeg that under there, and now get these under there. Come on. Stay together. And now basically you have what is supposed to be a camera, but it looks just like a bunch of plastic, like a plastic block. So you take this guy with this on the bottom and just overlap that. And put this back on here. Jiminy Christmas. All this stuff right here, all this detail right there. Repro labels. Repro labels, repro labels. Reflector, repro labels. And now we can take this, attach that over there. Now it has a flash and everything. And you have an old school retro camera. Ugh, dude, stay in there. First time I transformed this, it was not this difficult. And that was the first time. I didn't have as much trouble, but this thing is heavy. Like, there's no die cast, but this is heavy. If you threw this across the room at somebody, they are getting a serious concussion. But man, I guess you could pretend this head is a button. It does wiggle because it's on that ball joint still. But man, let me get a robot to compare that to. Here you go right there. If I drop this on top of Prowl right now, you would probably break in half. But you're looking at this right here. I don't really see any like stand for a tripod like some of these can actually hook up with. I mean, I guess you could figure out your own stand method or whatever, but it looks good. It looks nice. It looks like it's supposed to. I wish this would close down, so I don't know what the heck I did wrong, but apparently I did something wrong, but you get the gist. Typically I end things in robot mode, but oh boy. You don't know how hot it is in here, and you don't know how long it took me to get this thing into this mode. I like it. I like the robot mode. I like the finished product of this because the heft and the weight of it feels nice. The plastic feels nice too. It's nice and heavy. Like I said, it feels like it's die cast, but it's not. It does feel a little bit scary in certain areas, but so far I haven't broken it. Oh, I did forget to pull these down. But, yeah, I like it. I like all the little extras that it comes with. I like the weapon options that this comes with as well. So, and they do have a good likeness in their robot mode to the cartoon, especially the face and just about everything else. So, I can suggest this. I can recommend it. It's good. I love Fans Toys. I used to listen to MGo's rants about people complaining about him shilling for Fans Toys and whatnot. But having these things in hand, they are freaking awesome. And I believe they made the top of the list as far as Bobby Skullface's third-party rating system, or his whole videos. I know you probably watched it if you watched them. His thing he did with the third parties and how to differentiate them. These Fans Toys is nice. And I like this set right here. I like Spotter. If you like this video, definitely click the like button down there. If you're watching this on your TV or video game system, push the down arrow once, push it down again, go over to more options. That's right here. It should be right there where my finger's touching. And once you click that, the thumbs up button should be right around here somewhere. Click that. Subscribe. Watch the video I put right there. Watch the video I put right here. It should be the 2 toy hunts that I did yesterday. I didn't plan on doing that toy hunt, but it happened because I saw the Doctor Strange figures. If you like me, you like this video, I hope it didn't look like a rambling mess. I'm typically better, but this has a lot of shit with it. Subscribe. Comment. I'll write back to my comments. Share. Get me out there, or share another video that you liked more than this. If you didn't like this as much because it took long, share. T-Man 978 out of here.